YouTube!
Today we are going to be drawing a cube.
With a silly face and silly accessories.
That's right. We want to show you how to do what's called one-point perspective in drawing a cube. So we've shown in past videos ways to do three-dimensional shapes, but this one is a true one-point perspective. So it's a little bit of an advanced lesson today. We are going to be using rulers, pencils, and then tracing it all with Sharpie.
And of course you need something to color with, or else without color it just doesn't look the same.
That's right. So we're going to put it all together. We're going to be using rulers, freehand, markers, colored pencils, putting it all together in one little package, and it should be pretty fun. So it started as an idea to show how to draw a cube, and then I was challenged by one of my students. So shout out to Maddie H from one of my classes, and not to be confused with this Maddie right here, but she challenged to do a cube with a top hat. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. Maddie's going to spice hers up in her very own little way. You ready to get started, honey?
Yes.
First thing, grab your ruler, grab your pencil. We're going to draw a square. Okay?
Yes.
First, we're going to draw a square, and then we're going to turn it into a cube. So we talked a little bit before we got started. We're going to do a 3-inch by 3-inch cube. All right, and you would try to put it somewhat close to the middle of your paper. It doesn't really matter if it's perfect. 3-inch line there. All right, so this is the first line. Now we draw across the top, and you want to try to make it as square of a square as you can possibly make it, if that makes sense. Okay, so you want your
I'm sorry, my head went down.
you want your line to be going perfectly horizontal here.
Okay, so
And you don't always have to start with your ruler at 1 inch or at the 0-inch mark. Because wherever you start from, you can just add how many inches to it.
3.
So if we're starting at 9, we just go up to 12. If we're
And
starting at 7, we go up to 10.
If you guys have a bigger paper or a smaller paper, you can, or if you just want to make your cube bigger or smaller, you can do a different measurement of, like, maybe you could do 6 inches if you wanted to.
Yeah,
something.
you can adjust the size of your square however you want. All right, so we're going to continue on with our square. Again, trying our best to make it a really good square. And we're going to do the bottom line going across. Okay, and then lastly, we're going to just connect these two and make sure it's straight up and down.
There.
Good squares. Nice work. Now, we're going to introduce this concept called one-point perspective. So we're going to select a point anywhere in our background. The further away, the better. So on this regular size drawing paper, the farthest away we can get is really just the corner of the paper. So we're going to make a little dot there. And all of the lines we draw are going to go to that point. Okay? We won't necessarily be drawing them all the way to that point, but our ruler is going to be touching that point.
Yeah.
Okay? So we're going to start way over here on the left-hand side, the top corner of our square. I just messed up our colored pencil.
That's all right.
And we're going to, again, be connecting this top portion of the square with the dot that we made in the corner. And like I mentioned before, we're not going to be connecting the line fully, but we're going to be drawing a segment of that line. So, and we're going to end up having to erase, but for now, just go a couple inches up.
Like that?
Yeah, it's perfect. Good job, hon. Do you feel okay about that?
Yeah.
Good job. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to this corner, so the top right-hand corner of the box, of the cube, I should say, because we're making this square into a cube, right?
Yep.
Then I'm going to also line it up with the dot in the corner, and I'm gonna draw that line just for a little bit. We'll talk about how to know where to erase in just a moment. Good job. Last line for you. I'm going to show what it would look like if it was see-through.
Okay.
Okay. So And when I say last line, I don't mean last line of the drawing, I just mean last line to this point. Okay, and again, we're gonna just draw that up a little ways. I made my lines longer than they needed to be, which is better than shorter than they needed to be, right?
Yeah.
All right, and lastly, I am gonna show as if this cube were see-through. But I'm only gonna use dotted lines because I think at the end of the day, I don't want it to be see-through, but I just want you to see what it would look like. So I'm just gonna use some dotted lines here. I'm actually gonna go fairly light, hopefully. I don't go too light so you can make sure you can see them at home. But that's what our lines that fade away to this 1 point perspective and create that 1 point perspective, that's what those lines would look like. All right. Now to complete our cube though, we have to put in a horizontal line here and a vertical line here. And on my see-through cube, I've got to do a vertical line here and a horizontal line here. So you ready to try that?
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. So as these lines fade into the background, obviously the sides of a cube are all the same, but they're not gonna look the same. These are gonna look a little bit shorter than these ones in the front because it's fading off into the distance. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick, you have to use feel on this. I'm sure there is some sort of mathematical equation, but we're not gonna use it today. You have to just go with feel. So you go with what looks right to you. So you can move your ruler up and down. That would look too small, right, Madeline?
Yeah.
That would not be a cube.
And this would look too big.
That would be that would be way too big. So you have to find that sweet spot. And you have to do it by feel. That's what artists do a lot. They use feel. Right?
I feel like is this line a little too long?
I feel like it needs to be in here somewhere.
Okay, so
Because remember the lines they're not gonna look the same length. They're gonna look a little bit shorter. So, what do you think about where I have mine? You think that looks okay?
yeah, I think that looks more like a cube. Mine would look more like a... Sorry about that, guys. Maybe you probably can't see that, but... Okay.
Okay, so I put in my top line. I think Maddie needs to come down just a hair. Don't worry about erasing it now. Erase it later.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like... here?
I think a little bit more. I think that's just about perfect.
Okay.
Yep, just make sure, hold on, check the top of your paper, see how it slants down?
Yeah.
There you go. There you go, babe.
Okay.
Good. I didn't mean to reach over you, but sometimes the ruler can move at the end.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I think we're both doing very well. Now, this last line's kind of easier because we already have our spot. We just have to connect there and make sure we're straight up and down.
Yeah.
Okay?
Doesn't matter about that line.
That's right. Just do the best that you can to be straight up and down.
I think that's
You
good.
feeling okay about it?
Yeah.
I think that looks pretty good. I feel okay about mine too. Good. So now what we can do right now together is we can erase these lines that are too long.
Yeah.
So, okay?
And can we erase this in the...
Yeah, and you can erase the dot in the corner because we don't need that anymore. While Maddie's finishing up with her erasing, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about this cube that I've made, which is now kind of partially see-through. I need to finish it off so you can see what exactly it would look like if it were a completely see-through cube. So this back line would also be dotted to kind of show it's transparent. And then I would then need a horizontal line going this way to meet in that corner. Also dotted. Okay, so the last thing I would want to do is erase those dotted lines that I made that were trailing off to that 1 point. This is kind of bothering me a little bit.
What?
It wasn't quite right in the corner there, so I just fixed it up a little bit. Okay, so this is what the cube would look like if it were transparent. You could see through it. You can see the back lines of the cube, but those are going away. I'm taking those away, so my cube will
Wait, can I
be
have
like
your
your
eraser
cube.
real quickly?
Of course you can.
It's harder to do with that eraser because it's all ripped.
We do have more pencils. We're just I don't know, we're being a little bit stingy with our erasers, aren't we? We want to
Yeah.
save them. We want to save them so that
Yeah.
we always have erasers.
I just
Okay.
kind of want to finish up these pencils and then use them.
Yes, exactly. We need to get some more pencil toppers. All right, so now my cube is going to be transformed into exactly what Madeline has. So I have now essentially created the same cube that Madeline has. We both have solid cubes using the 1-point perspective method. And you may have seen our tissue box episode where we make a rectangular prism, but we use just sort of it's not a cheat method, but it's just a quicker method where you're just making your diagonals the same on all of the corners, which is a perfectly acceptable way. This is just a little bit more advanced. Okay, Maddie, our cubes are done. We're gonna go over them with Sharpie, but we decided to make this video way more fun. We're
Then
gonna
just
do,
drawing a cube.
what are we gonna do?
We're gonna make them silly.
We're gonna make them silly. I was challenged by one of my students to make a cube with a top hat. So I'm gonna do a top hat and then I'm gonna raise the bar and I'm gonna do a funny face on it too. What are you gonna do?
I'm going to do a unicorn cube.
A unicorn cube. I can't wait to see what that comes out like. All right, so we're just gonna kind of draw. We'll put it on fast forward and then we'll show you at the very end what we came up with. Ready?
Yeah.
Team. Now we've transformed our cubes into these funny cubes, and we've blended perfectly straight lines with a ruler with freehand drawing. So this is kind of a cool little project we're doing here.
Yeah.
Next, we're going to literally take Sharpies and we're going to trace over everything, including these straight lines, which we're going to use rulers for, and including the freehand lines, which we're not going to use rulers for. Then we're going to add a little color. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, Sharpies. See if that's a good one. I'll see if this is a good one.
I think it's pretty good.
Decent. Okay. Satisfied?
Yep.
Me too. Okay. Time for color now.
One, two,
Great job.
three.
I feel like we got it.
Yeah, I feel like that's how we got it. We got it, guys.
One. Good catch. Two. Three. Here's our cubes.
Our silly cubes.
Silly, silly cubes. I added some shading, a top hat, and a silly face. What'd you add?
I added a unicorn horn, some like bangs, I guess, and a mane and a face.
All right.
It's a unicorn.
You know where to find the like button if you actually enjoyed this. And
Yeah, I enjoyed it much.
I'm glad.
And you can hit the subscribe button, please do, and turn on the bell so you don't miss a video.
That's right. You
Every Saturday,
don't want to miss anything. Every Saturday,
At
2
2.
o'clock. YouTube
p.m.
TV. Craft Kids TV on YouTube, not YouTube TV. Whoops. Until we see you next time with another drawing
Yes.
or a craft or something silly. We have some silly things maybe planned for this summer,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Stay tuned. Craft Kids TV out.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, perfect. It was a perfect
And
shot.
this one.
Perfect shot. Oh,
Oh.
another good shot. Another good shot.